All right, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on LZW compression. It's this really clever algorithm that shrinks data down without losing a single bit. It's one of the silent workhorses of our digital world, and you're about to see exactly how it ticks.
So let's kick things off with a bit of a puzzle. Take a look at this string. It's 16 characters long. Now, how in the world can that be perfectly represented by just these 10 numbers? And I mean, perfectly. You can get the original string back no problem. It seems kind of impossible, right? Well, the answer lies in a really powerful compression algorithm.
Yeah, the magic behind this is an algorithm called Lempel-Ziv-Welch, or just LZW for short. It's what we call a lossless compression method. That just means you get back the exact original data, bit for bit. Its real genius is in how it finds and replaces patterns that keep showing up.
Okay, so how does it actually find these repeating sequences and keep track of them? It's not like it scans the whole file first. The secret is something it builds as it goes along.
It uses something called a dictionary. And if you've ever worked with databases, you can pretty much think of this as a dynamic lookup table. It stores sequences of characters and gives each one its own unique key, or index. And that word dynamic is super important. This dictionary is built completely on the fly.
So, how does the compressor actually build this dictionary and use it to shrink our string? Let's just walk through our example step by step.
Okay, so the process kicks off with a dictionary that's already pre-filled with all 256 single ASCII characters, A, B, C, and so on. The compressor reads the first character, T, and then the next one, A. Now it asks, is the sequence TA in my dictionary? Right now, no, it's not. So two things happen. First, it outputs the code for T, which is its ASCII code, 84. Then it adds the new sequence TA to the dictionary at the first open spot, which is index 256.
Now, here's the key detail. The process restarts with A. That's the character that broke the last sequence. It then reads the next character, T. AT isn't in the dictionary yet, so it does the same thing. Outputs the code for A, which is 65, and adds AT as the next entry, 257.
Okay, now watch this, because this is where it gets interesting. The compressor reads T, then A, but this time, TA is in our dictionary. We just added it, it's at index 256. When it finds a match, it doesn't output anything yet. Instead, it gets greedy. It extends the sequence and reads the next character, which is G. Now, is tag in the dictionary? Nope. So now it outputs the code for the last known sequence, which was TA, so it outputs 256, and then it adds tag to the dictionary.
And it just keeps following this logic, working its way through the entire string. As it goes, it gets smarter and smarter, finding longer and longer sequences it's already learned. And the end result? Our 16-character string has been squished down into this sequence of just 10 numbers. Pretty cool, right?
So that's the compression side of things. But this is only half the story. It's useless if the other end can't turn that list of numbers back into the original string. So how does the decompressor, which only gets that list of indices, rebuild the text? It doesn't have the compressor's dictionary, or does it?
And this right here is probably the most elegant part of the whole algorithm. The decompressor doesn't need the dictionary sent over. It rebuilds the exact same dictionary in the exact same order using nothing but the incoming codes. It stays in perfect sync the whole time.
Let me show you how it works. The decompressor starts with that same initial dictionary of single characters. It reads the first code, 84, and outputs a T. It reads the next one, 65, and outputs an A. Now here's the clever trick. It can figure out what the compressor's first new entry was. It just takes the previous output, T, and adds the first character of the current output, A. Put them together, and it adds TA to its own dictionary at index 256. It just keeps repeating this pattern, staying in perfect sync.
And this process just continues in perfect lockstep. For every single index it receives, it outputs the corresponding string and then builds the next dictionary entry. As you can see, its dictionary grows identically to the compressor's, and that allows it to perfectly reconstruct our original text piece by piece.
Okay, this whole thing seems totally foolproof, right? But there is one rare, kind of tricky edge case we got to talk about. What happens if the compressor finds a sequence, adds it to its dictionary, and then immediately uses that brand new index as its very next output? The decompressor wouldn't have built that entry yet. It would be trying to look up an index that, from its point of view, doesn't even exist.
Well, there's a really clever rule for this exact situation. The decompressor can actually deduce the missing sequence. It's simple. It just takes the string it last output and tacks on that same string's own first character to the end. That little formula is all it needs to solve the puzzle and keep everything perfectly in sync. Problem solved.
All right, so let's pull all this together. Why does this algorithm matter so much? Why is it so powerful? I mean, it's been used in everything from GIF images to TIFF files and even PDF documents.
So, what are the big takeaways here? First, LZW is lossless. Your data is always safe. Second, it's super efficient. It builds its dictionary on the fly, so there's no slow pre-scan of the file. It's also dynamic, which means it adapts to whatever patterns your specific data has. And finally, the decompression logic is really simple, which makes it incredibly fast to get your data back.
You know, LZW is just one of so many elegant algorithms that are working completely behind the scenes, making our digital lives faster and more efficient. When you see how it solves such a complex problem with this simple, dynamic dictionary, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible optimizations are out there, making our digital world possible every single day?
Hey, if you found this explainer useful, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.